What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite watches that I currently own, and that is the G-Shock GA2100. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the watch. I'm going to be telling you guys the things that I like about the watch, things that I don't like about the watch, and most importantly, if the hype is real and if you should get it. Let's talk about it. So the G-Shock was never a watch that was close to my heart. I never liked the way they looked. I thought they are always like too big, they're too imposing, and they're massive and they're ugly and they're overly protective of the case and bezel, and their details were just like too annoying to me. I just never felt the need of getting a watch, from the G-Shock series, and I never did. And when this watch came out, it completely changed the way I look. It actually didn't, because I still look weirdly at those other G-Shocks, except this one because it's pretty. And the question is how this particular watch, around $100, was able to charm like some of the best watches out there. And I will tell you, the number one thing is the thickness of only 11.8 millimeters. And I also have to tell you that once it's on your wrist, it's even better. It's even smaller, it's even thinner, and it just is even better. Now obviously when we look at the bezel, we see some similarity to one of the very famous watch, the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, and that is because of the octagonal bezel. Now although the Royal Oak has nothing to do with the Casio, what I find funny is that because of this 8 lions put together the way they are put in this watch has basically got the name Casio Oak, which is very weird, but I'll take it. It looks good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but this is one of the reasons why I got this watch. It has a very nice design. It has that Gerald Genta design, and it also has this beautiful 2 side things, whatever you call them, that kind of has a Nautilus look. I mean, this always been in the G-Shock, but here they're more pronounced because there's not a lot of garbage going on around the watch, since this watch is like more calm and more subtle. So that's one thing that I like about it. But regardless of that, retail price of the Royal Oak is around $25,000, which makes this watch probably less than 0.5% to the price. This watch is around $100. But with that being said, you get a series of amazing complications, such as perpetual calendar, chronograph, chiming alarm, world timer, great loom, and many other things, which make this watch really, really good. Now, when this watch was released, it was around $100. Now, with that being said, because it was such a hot watch on the market, it hit instant success. Everybody bought this watch, and it was always out of stock. And whenever it was back in the stock, people would buy crazy. And other places such as Amazon and just other sellers would mark this watch at a much higher price, and sometimes you would find it over $200. Now that it's been over a year or almost 2 years that this watch is released, time kind of brought this watch back to where it's kind of supposed to be at around $100, which I believe is a great thing. Quickly, I'm not going to talk much about it, but one question is, how about the servicing? What does it cost to service this watch? Well, the real answer is that there's no such thing as servicing with the G-Shock, especially with this one. You would take this watch, throw it in a brick wall, and it will work just as good as it did yesterday, or in 5 years it will work just as good as it worked today. That's it, done. It has a battery, and the battery needs to be replaced according to Casio around 3 to 5 years, and that depends a lot on the way you use the watch, how much you're using the light. It obviously has a light over here. It has a clearly indicator that says light. It's beautiful. The light is very luxurious. I'll get to that in a second, but it depends how often you use the light, the stopwatch, and many other things. That's kind of what's going to set you from either 3 to 5 years of battery replacement. Now the light is, like I said, very, very luxurious. This is not your regular stupid light. You turn it on, it turns off, and whatever. This light, it turns on extremely fast, and the beautiful part about it is when it turns off, it kind of takes a second. It leaves you slowly, and that is just something you don't get every day. Maybe you actually get that with other G-Shocks and I just don't know, because I never wore G-Shocks and shit. Who knows? Now what's more is that this is still very much an analog piece that features a traditional dial layout. Casio, who is the king of digital timekeeping, is still fighting the good fight when it comes to keeping analog watches alive. And that's what we see with the GA2100. There's a digital display located around 4 and 5 o'clock, and that's kind of where you can cycle through all of the great complications. There's also an analog day located at around 9 o'clock, which I absolutely love, and I'm gonna tell you that this was probably the #1 feature that kind of got me sold on this watch. There's just something the way the analog day indicator is made. It's put there and it's designed. I absolutely love it. I feel like you're in some heavy machinery and you need to, like, it's like a switch. You need to I can't explain. To me, it just looks so good. The fact that this watch is so clean, and then you have this thing that kind of is so robust. I like that. I really appreciate that. Obviously, the second reason that I kind of got sold on me is the bezel and then many other things, but this I would say is the #1 thing, the analog day indicator. Now, although this is black on black on black on black, black indicators and dial and bezel and case and strap and everything, I would say that it's very easy to read the time because the indicators are obviously kind of like 3D. They're printed out a little bit and they're big, so it's easy to read. You also have pretty good lume on the hands, and the hands are kind of grayish, so whether it's daylight or night out or whatever, you still have a very easy way of reading the time. And then obviously you have the analog, which I mentioned is located at 4 or 5 o'clock, and that's where you can also read the time. And if it's dark out, then like I mentioned, you have this button over here, you turn it on, the light turns on, and you can easily read it. Now the coolest thing to kind of summarize this watch is the fact that although it doesn't ask you for much, in return it gives you a lot, basically, for what you're paying. The other cool thing is the color choice. It's available in black, the one I have here, blue, white, yellow, dark green, red. There's so many options out there, and also there's so many limited edition type that are made by other creators that make this watch in jellyfish. You've obviously probably seen that. I'll try to attach some pictures and many other things that I think just this watch is great from every perspective, from every point, and this is one of the watches that we, the stylish people of the watch industry, I guess if I could say it this way, have always wanted from a G-Shock. We didn't only want that functionality, that indestructible watch, we also wanted somewhat stylish watch, a watch that would go great with many outfits, and you know, I wouldn't be worried to take it off my wrist if I'd have something more important, because this watch would stick out too much. And I have to say that this watch, although on paper at 45.5mm case sounds like very big watch to me, a lover of 40mm, I would say that when you put this watch on the wrist, everything changes. It just looks much smaller, it wears much smaller, and it's so comfortable. And with 56 grams, this watch is so light, incredibly light. And it has that perfect balance of, you know, a super light watch, but just enough for you to feel it, to know that it's there. That's it. That's it. I'm gonna leave you at that. Please let me know down in the comment below, guys, what you think of the GA2100. If you were in the market for getting one, I think you should get one. If you like these tough, indestructible watches that somewhat have a touch of style, this watch is for you. I am happy with it. That's all I can say. So with that being said, that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, for liking the video, subscribing. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.